Okay, so normally I do these upcoming video game videos on my main channel, but like I'm gonna be straight with you for a second, okay? I'm just really busy with my next like big main channel project that I've been slaving away at for like over a month now. I'm telling you, man, this is the best video I've ever created. I'm like at around 48 minutes right now. It's gonna be longer than an hour. You just gotta wait for a second, but because of that, I'm not really able to make a big E3 video. And besides that, E3 has kind of died. Like, it isn't really a thing anymore, which is a shame, but I still wanted to talk about some upcoming games I'm excited about, because there is a lot on my radar, and I would just really like to share that with you guys. There are some AAA games I'm excited over, but the indie games are usually more experimental. They usually try to cover a wide range of genres and play around with new ideas, and I really like that. If I played AAA schlop over and over again, eventually I just get kinda bored, but the indie scene is usually more exciting for me, you know? And I want to start off by talking about Devolver Digital. Yes, I know last year I was sucking them off hard, but dude, I just can't help it, man. They have so much cool stuff in the work, and all of it is just, I'm really excited for it. Like I have a small list, but that small list is still like 8 games. That's a lot of games. Starting off with Wizard with a Gun. This is a Don't Starve-esque game, so it's basically a top-down survival game. And if you know me, I really like Don't Starve. It's my favorite survival game of all time. And Wizard with a Gun, it looks really fun. You can craft a bunch of different ammo types. It looks like you go raid enemy bases, and the base building looks pretty fleshed out. So definitely keep your eyes open for this one. One part I'm not too fond over though is the amount of text that keeps popping up. I mean, in Don't Starve, like, text flashes on screen, but not every single time you pick something up. And I just think it's kind of obnoxious. But still, keep your eyes open for this one. Looks fun. And I like fun. Stick It to the Stickman is this like little stickman beat 'em up, and everyone is like swimming their arms around like little goblins, which I think is super funny. You have some stupid moves you can unlock, and they say something about fighting against crunch culture, which I think it's just genius. I really want the final boss of this game to just be called Boss. Just boss, nothing else. I think that would be really funny. Pepper Grinder is a game about digging through sand with a big ass chunky grinder. It's kind of reminiscent of the Ori Sand stage, if you remember that, which was my personal favorite area of that entire game. And it looks very fluid and precise. And I just really want this game to be hard, kind of like Celeste or Pizza Tower, where you just have to retry again and again and again. And when you finally beat it, you just feel really like accomplished, because just by looking at it looks really rewarding to finally beat a stage. I saw this game in development like years and years ago, so I'm really excited to finally be able to play it. It looks great. The Plucky Squire, gameplay wise, this game looks alright. It doesn't look like insane or anything, but the concept of it is really cool, where you keep popping in and out of 2D and 3D. Like, you keep bouncing around, solving puzzles, and it does some really cool perspective things. Gumbrella was a game from the creators of Gato Roboto. I played this a bit at PAX last year, which was a lot of fun. Sludge Life 2, I really liked Sludge Life 1. It was just a little goofy exploration game, and not a lot of gaming going on, but it was just fun to walk around and look at some dumb stuff, like pissing off a building or something, and it was dumb as hell, and I loved it. Human Fall Flat is getting a sequel, which is really cool, but that's all they really showed off. They said it's in a new engine, so I really hope they take the physics of it to the next level. Neva is from the creators of Grids. It's a very artsy exploration puzzle platformer. Cyber's really excited for this one. And my personal most anticipated Devolver Digital game is Baby Steps. This is definitely a highlight for me. Graphics and animation wise, it looks really mid, but this is a game from the creator of Getting Over It. I really like Getting Over It. This game has created some of the best YouTube content of people just raging, and it looks like that they are going all in with that concept and combining it with improv humor, and I think it's just gonna be really dumb fun seeing people like lose their shit over it. So yeah, there you go. Devolver Digital's free game shill. If Devolver Digital is actually watching this, please keep giving me free games, okay? Because I really like free stuff. Alright, so from the creator of Isaac, Edmund Macmillan, he's making a game called Mewgenics, which is a little turn-based tactical roguelike where you breed cats into some really wacky looking creatures. The creators of Castle Crashers, Alien Hominid, and Battle Block Theater are making a new Alien Hominid game called Alien Hominid Invasion. This one has been in development for a while, and the original Alien Hominid HD is still stuck on the Xbox 360, so it's really nice to see a sequel finally coming to Steam and PC. Risk of Rain Returns is a Risk of Rain 1 remake slash remaster. I really liked Risk of Rain 2. Like, this game has sucked so much time out of me, but Risk of Rain 1, I was never really able to get into it, so I think it's really smart they are remaking it. They are also adding a bunch of stuff onto it with new items, new characters, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm telling you, okay, if this game is even like 30% worse than Risk of Rain 2, it's still gonna be a banger, because Risk of Rain 2 is really goddamn fun. Party Animals looks like it's a successor to Gang Beasts. It looks a lot more polished and fleshed out. I don't even know what happened to the studio that made Gang Beast, because like they just kind of disappeared. So the Gang Beast itself is really fun, and it looks like with Party Animals they improved upon that, where you can like play around with a bunch of weapons. It just looks wacky and dumb as hell, and that's what Gang Beast is all about. Here's another highlight, a game called Demon Spore, where you have to fight off like an infection or some sort of virus, and it just looks really overwhelming, but weirdly satisfying, seeing the infection spore thingy like slowly extend while you're trying to eradicate it. You can use some debris to block off doors, throw chairs through windows to like make a pathway. It looks really intense, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be amazing. Anton Blast is a title that has been paired up with Pizza Tower a lot, but on itself it looks like a really fleshed out platformer with a fun jump into the background gimmick. Bits and Bobs is a little rhythm heaven-like. They made a little custom engine to this game, which I always like to see. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk is a stylish skating game, which is a successor to Jet Set Radio. And here is one I'm a bit iffy over. Hyper Light Breaker. This is a sequel to Hyper Light Drifter, but like it's a completely different style of game. Instead of it being 2D, it's 3D, which is just like Risk of Rain. But like it looks like a completely different genre of game, and every time they try to explain it or show it off, it just doesn't click with me. It looks really pretty, but the combat looks a bit wonky. Like, I just don't know what this game wants to be. And like, again, it's a completely different type of game to Hyper Light Breaker. At least Risk of Rain 2 was still a roguelike, but like, I don't know what they are doing with this. It looks cool, but I don't know. I guess we just have to wait. Clay Entertainment is finally making and publishing some games again, with the two that stick out being Rotwood and Beastie Ball. Rotwood is a very pretty hack and slash game, and Beastie Ball is a Pokemon volleyball game. A lot of you guys know that I really don't like Pokeball, not because of the concept, but because of how just, like, the games are just complete utter crap. I do not like them. A few years ago, you had Temtem, which was also really mid, but you also had Boxnax, which I really liked, and, you know, this one also looks somewhat fun and pretty, because Pokemon looks like crap. It looks bad, okay? I'm sorry. The Ballad of Bonky is another very stylish beat-em-up game, and this game is made by Dutch people, so it gets bonus points for me. Dr. Fides Mean Meat Machine. This one genuinely annoys me. Why are they making a match 3 game with the Meat Boy IP? Just why? A little to the left is getting a funky little DLC in a few weeks. The Donkey video game looks cute. Mullet Magic is yet another boomer shooter with a very stylish art style. And speaking of art styles, #Blood. This game's art style is absolutely phenomenal, and I just adore it. It looks like an old school Nickelodeon cartoon put into a game. Like, it's actually like injected into it, and it's amazing. It really reminds me of the cartoon Wayside, if you remember that show where characters continuously morph into like weird creatures and they get flattened, limbs expand out of nowhere for dramatic effect. And besides that, it looks really fun to play, beating up a bunch of vampires. But I'm telling you, man, that art style is peak of the peak. It is so good. I love it. Sky Children of the Light is finally coming to Steam, which is about time. Pizza Possum is kind of like Untitled Goose Game, where you're creating a bunch of chaos for the fun of it. It looks chaotic, it looks dumb, it looks fun, and Cyber's also really excited for this one. The Big Catch is an old school like platformer where you use a fishing rod as a grappling hook, which I'm also really excited to play. And for the next one, I'm gonna cheat a bit, okay? It's a game called Friends vs. Friends. This game actually already came out like a week or so ago, and I've been playing it a lot. I did a little video about this a few days ago. It's a 2v2 card-based shooter where the first team to get 3 points wins. And the games are really quick, like maybe 5 minutes max, and it's addicting, man. Remember in Fall Guys? I made a whole video about Fall Guys like a year or so ago. Remember how much waiting there is in that game, where at times you have to literally wait for 2 whole minutes of you doing nothing? This game is the solar opposite. You have to maybe wait 3 seconds max between games. I recommend checking this one out. It's 10 bucks on Steam right now, and I'm guessing when the summer sale hits, it's gonna be 5 bucks. So it's definitely worth the money because it's really goddamn addicting. Valve is releasing Counter-Strike 2 finally, which I honestly don't care too much about, but I really hope this means that Source 2 can finally go into the public, because that engine is so sick, man. Half-Life Alyx physics were really goddamn impressive and a buttload of fun to play with. They are also working on some game called Neon Prime, which sounds really exciting, and TF2 is getting some sort of update still, so I feel like Valve is finally back in their A game after years and years of nothing, and I'm really excited about it, honestly. And then the final 2 games I want to talk about are Cocoon, which is from the designer of Limbo and Inside. This game looks really cool, where you jump into and out of orbs to solve puzzles, and it looks really pretty. And Paper Trail, where you fold paper to make pathways, which it doesn't look insane or anything, but it's very charming. And yeah, that's about it. If I'm honest, E3, or like the game month, whatever you want to call it, since E3 is kind of dead. Yeah, it was really lacking this year, in my opinion. There were a lot of fun games, but AAA-wise, it was kind of crap. Hopefully, I've still managed to push some interesting games into your crosshair, because I always see a lot of people saying that there's nothing exciting around the horizon, which I always disagree with, because there are always amazing games being produced. And most of them are indie games, yes, but those are the games I personally find more interesting than other gabagoo. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go back grinding away at my main channel video, so I'll see you later. Goodbye, like the video, goodbye, tell me if I missed anything in the comments, goodbye.